up, family? Thanks for joining another episode of Tapping into Talent brought to you by Black Gay Table Talk. I'm your host, Kenan, and for today's episode, we have the exciting pleasure, experience the amazing Just Logan joining us. Logan, how are you?
I I'm great. I can't complain. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you on the show. You have no idea. Um,
I'm excited to be here.
you're a beast. You are a beast with music, with your lyrics, the whole nine, like a beast. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
So, for our viewers and listeners, um, how did you start the journey that you're on with music and your artistry?
Um, I feel like I feel every time I'm asked this question, I feel like every singer says this. I've been singing my whole life.
Uh-huh.
My whole family sings. Like when I tell you everybody in my family sings, even the ones that can't sing, they can hold a note. They can do what they got to do. But my
Yes.
whole family sings. Been singing all my life. I would say that I started taking it. It's always been serious to me, but taking it as far as like a career seriousness, maybe back in 2014.
Hmm.
Um, I was a celebrity assistant starting in like 2014. And I met one of my closest friends, Ebony Williams, and we were on the phone one day and she was just talking to me and she's like, "Oh, what do you want to do with your life?" I'm like, "I want to be an artist." And she was like, "Oh, where can I find your music?" I was like, "I don't have any out." And she's like, "Oh, where do you perform at?" I'm like, "I don't." And she was like, "So you don't want to do it?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I need to get my stuff together." So
Message, right?
literally that, yeah, okay, like message received. And literally the next day I just got to it, ordered my first microphone, started writing. And I used to write when I was little. Like I used to write songs a lot when I was little, but I never like performed them anywhere. So like I
Hmm.
just started writing again and really just jumped back into it. And I've been climbing uphill ever since.
All right. All right. So when you think about your journey, what things have you learned along the way that you're happy that you learned? Like, damn, I'm glad
Hmm.
I know this now type of things.
Being vulnerable with my artistry, like that was tough because like when you're writing and when you're putting things out there, I'm telling my story. I'm telling things that I've experienced. I'm telling trauma. I'm telling a lot of things, and
Hmm.
sometimes it offends people because sometimes it may be about somebody. You know, they may literally be listening and being like, "Wait a minute, it's about me." You know, so it's like being in that space and being able to just tell my truth and not worrying about it, and then also translating that to being on stage and being vulnerable. That's a whole nother level of vulnerability. And it's like, if you're not, people always ask me, like when I get off stage, like, "How was it?" I'm like, "I don't know, I wasn't there." Like I literally
Yes.
am not like I'm not present in the moment. It's like I step on stage and then everything kind of just like truly goes black, and I'm just kind of like just in whatever, my set is, whatever I'm doing. I'm just like constantly whatever. And like you kind of pop out and pop in because like I also want to be present with the audience, like, comment to them and whatever it can be. But it's like I have to like let go of everything. Being on stage is being vulnerable. Like, it's like it's a little difficult sometimes, and you have everybody watching you, everybody, commentary, you get to see everybody's faces. So it's like sometimes you gotta just block all of that out and just be just tunnel vision. So I feel like
Hmm.
once I learned how to do that, I think that was the best one of the best things that I've like learned along the way is just to kind of ignore the audience almost and just like be in your own little moment and just allow them to experience whatever you want them to experience.
I love that. So,
Yeah.
and it's funny you said that it's almost like you're not there or you're not there. I've looked at videos of you performing, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen it, but you know how there are those artists that literally when they go on stage, it's like you can see them leave and this
Mm-hmm.
entity take on. I think, well, Fantasia's one who's good for it. You can
Oh
see
baby, mama be gone.
gone. Okay. I've even seen it in Beyonce sometimes, but I
Yeah.
saw that in you. And I was
Thank
like, oh my gosh, like for me, that's the power of your gift. You know what I'm saying? Like you're able to leave and let your gift literally take over and serve in that moment, which is fucking fantastic. Okay.
thank you. Appreciate that.
you're very versatile in your artistry, right? And
Hmm.
I hear I hear blues, I hear rock, I hear R&B, I hear so many different things. How would you describe your music?
Um, ooh, I don't know. How would I describe it? Rock. I feel like rock and gospel are always my base. Of
Yes.
anything that like I do. I mean, of course, grew up singing in the church. My grandparents like are really into music, so I studied classical music from like second grade all the way up through college. I was in classical music, and then rock and roll has always had my heart. I fell in love with Tina Turner as a child. Like I used to literally stand in front of the TV and be full on Tina Turner performances. Like that's why I
I
was so
love
shocked when my grandmother was like, "You're gay," and I'm like, "Girl, you kind of participated in this. Like you know, like you used to literally cut up my shorts and have me in front of TV talking about something.
it.
Like,
Really?
come on now,
I love it.
y'all knew what was up." But yeah, so
I
yeah,
love
like
it.
that's all kind of just morph. Like I always try to incorporate all of my gifts and talents into what I do. It's like, I have multiple different backgrounds of music that I love and study. So it's just like, let's put that all into one little box and make it work for me. So like, yeah. So I don't know if I had to classify it, I would probably say rock soul.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If I had to put a title on it, I would say rock soul.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
So, diving a bit deeper into your music, right? So, one of my favorites
Mhm.
is Gots to Go.
Okay.
So, what was the inspiration? And the video was on point. I love the video. And let me just go ahead and say your videos are always high quality. Like,
Thank
and
you.
they give experiences. Like, yeah, so I'll stop talking. So what was the what was the thought behind Guys to Go?
Gas to go. Okay, so I my relationship life is always in shambles.
Mhm.
Very Taylor Swift about everything. It's like it's just always in shambles. I just feel like that song when I was writing it, it was I was in just leaving a situation, and it was like I'm constantly in this revolving door with this person, and it was like I got to get the heck up out of here. Like I have to leave. I can't keep allowing myself to be in the same situations over and over again.
Mhm.
Um, the relationship triggered the song, but it just in my life in general, like I feel like we get stuck in patterns
Mhm.
of this revolving door. Like, oh, I'm back in the same spot that I was a year ago, and it's like, how did I continue to come back to the same point? So it's like me just telling myself, like, yeah, you have to step out of this. You have to remove yourself from this constant pattern, and you gotta go. Like, gotta pack my bag, I
Yeah.
gotta get my shit, and I gotta go. Like, I gotta get my shit, I gotta go. That's what I
Right.
got. Yeah.
I love it.
And then
And
the video concept that actually was not what I ended up recording was not the video that I wanted to record. It was
mhm.
supposed to be me and this guy. It was supposed to go through a soliloquy of our relationship, of like the ups and downs, like just the ups and downs of the relationship. And literally like 2 days before shoot day, he got sick, and he was like, "I am sick. I am like coughing. I can't do anything." And I'm just like, okay, baby, the show must go on. So I'm just like, pivot. Like, this is what we're doing. This is the new video concept. Lights, camera, action. Let's go. Like, I have things that I have to do. So, it ended
But
up
it
turning out.
worked.
I love it. So yeah, thank you.
It worked. It worked. And I'm not
Thanks.
gonna lie, I was in my feelings after I first saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't even describe what I felt, but I know it made me feel. But it was like you went through the motions, like socked in your feelings for a bit, processed what happened, and eventually you picked yourself up like, you know what? The show must go on. So the
The
message
show
was
must go on.
received. And I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little attitude with my husband. I'm like, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. I'm just feeling something right now. Like, just let me feel.
I'm just feeling some type of way. Just give me 5 seconds.
So I love that.
Hilarious.
Um, So I know that you had the video, well, not video, the song that you did with Seven Deep, right?
Yes, I love him. Yes,
That video, the name of the song is
yes. Mm-hmm.
or mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
always a debate in the house, like how you actually pronounce. I'm like, it's and they're like, no, it's mm-hmm. So either way, but that video was motherfucking. That video, baby, listen. You were flipping the hair, and then I literally every detail in that video, from the placement of, I think it was Tina Turner, Rihanna, and everything
I had Tina
from
Turner, Rihanna, Prince.
Prince.
I had no. So funny thing about it, I don't mean to cut you off. Funny thing about it is that I tried to place my family tree, my celebrity family tree, so on the table. Every copybook I have of my celebrity family tree was on the table. Naomi Campbell was laying down, so you really couldn't see. When I watched the video back, I'm like, I should have angled it so you could saw her book. But
Oh,
like my family, my music, my celebrity family tree,
mhm.
Tina Turner and Little Richard are my grandparents. And then my parents are Naomi Campbell and Prince. And then I have my sibling. I only have one sibling right now. I'm looking for another sibling. My only sibling right now is Rihanna. And then I have my uncle Andre 3000 and my auntie Grace Jones.
Yes.
That's my musical family tree. So I'm still getting the rest of their coffee table books. So some of them don't have one, but yeah, I
Uh-huh.
was like, let me put them on. Let me just show people, like, these are people who inspire my artistry and what I do, as even in my everyday life. Like, I feel like all those people live authentically in themselves,
Mhm.
unapologetically, like not giving a care about what people feel about them, etc. And that's really like how I strive to live and show up every
Mhm.
day. So yeah, but yeah, that
I
video,
love
I
that.
loved it.
And it makes
Yeah.
so much sense when you break it down like that, because I can literally see pieces of them woven into, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So, what was the inspiration behind mhm?
So, I went into the studio. I was sitting down with my producer. Shout out to Rashad at Honey Jam Studios, Honey Jam Records. He gonna kill me. It's one of the two, y'all. Um, anyway, I was in the studio with him, and we were just like, workshopping some stuff. Like, he was just, on his computer creating some beats and stuff like that, and I was just sitting in my
Mhm.
little corner writing. And he like hit, I can't remember what the first part of he came up with. I think it was like the bass line. And I was like, well, I like that. That feel good. Let's keep going. So we kept building off of that. And then like lyrics just started to come, and the song just felt like forbidden to me. Like, it just felt forbidden. And I was just like, first thing I wrote was I love when you, I know that you love when I miss shit. Now I don't know the word. Of course I know the words. Like, I wrote it. Um, and tell me you miss when and I was like, okay, um, that's nice. Let me, like, keep that. Tell me you miss when and I'm like, okay, we're gonna keep
Yes.
doing that, and then and then from there, just kind of snowballed into like, well, why you miss it? Why you don't get it on a regular basis? And it's like, oh, because I'm not supposed to be sleeping with you anyway. Like, I'm not supposed to be having you. So then it kind of I kind of just wrote on that mindset of like having that forbidden person that is toxic and you shouldn't be sleeping with, but it's like, it's so good that I just need that again. Like, just
Right.
like, just come over.
Right. It ain't gonna hurt
And
nobody.
it ain't gonna hurt nobody. It's gonna, it may, in a good way. It's gonna hurt in a good way.
Right.
But but then I was like, as I was writing it, I was sitting down. I was just like, okay, and I was like, something is missing, and I'm like, oh, you need like a rapper or something on it. And I was like, okay, well, who can do this song? And me and my producer were sitting there. We just like, what are we gonna do? Like, who's gonna do the song? And I thought of, I'm like, there's this guy. I'm like, I just saw his stuff. I'm like, his name is Seven. I'm like, I'm going to see if he'll do it. And he was like, oh, you know him? I said, I have no idea who this man is. He does not know who I am. I'm like, I am just going
Aw.
to email him, and we're just going to see what goes from there. And I like sent him an email, and he
Yeah.
responded, and I sent him the song, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm getting on this. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he sent back his part, and I was just like, oh baby, we need a
It
video.
was magic.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, we have to shoot a video. He's like, oh no, we definitely doing a video. And the video concept was like, I don't know if I did the best job of the reference that I used, but the reference that I used was honestly the scene from The Devil Wears Prada when she was
It
with. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, because that was like my reference shot where it was like
mhm.
she's like, she's like, when the girl came in over about the little blue sweater, she's like, you think you have nothing to do with this, and we don't get me to quoting because I'm gonna mess it up. Horrible. But that scene where they were in the office and they was going through the fabrics and all this stuff, that was literally like the reference shot that I wanted to do. And I
Mhm.
wanted to feel like, I'm at work, doing my thing, in my fashion compound. And I just can't get this man out of my mind. Like he's everywhere. He's
Mhm.
just like in my thoughts, I can't function, I can't do what I'm supposed to do. And then I kind of go into like this daydream where he comes and we both come. And, then it's like, I wake up and it's like, oh, damn, did it really
And
happen?
we
Like, it was,
right.
yeah, it's a few different references. Because I also kind of wanted to reference like Michael Jackson's Thriller video, where like at the end, where you really don't know if that was her real reality or did she dream it? And then he kind of turns around and gives you like a little, yeah, I actually am a werewolf. So it's like, I kind of like wanted to have that feeling at the end of the video too. So like, but Michael Jackson, the end of Thriller, and I sent my videographer, Rhetoric Inc. Shout out to Anthony, who's amazing. Um, um, I sent them the Thriller, the end of Thriller video, and then I sent them The Devil Wears Prada, and then that kind of just came about. Yeah.
Whew, baby, that video though, that video was hot. It was hot.
Thank you.
Okay. And it was
Thank
what
you. I
we
was
needed, okay?
nervous. I was
Really?
nervous about that video. I had never done anything. So I'm a very sexual being in like my personal life, but like
Mhm.
I've never like showcased that part of me like to the world. It's kind of just like,
Mhm.
those who know, but it's like to like it's like it's funny, I'm a very spiritual person as well. So it's funny like how like God kind of prepares me for things that I don't even know I'm being prepared for. Um
Mhm.
One of my friends like prior like 2 months prior to that reached out to me and wanted me to walk with her in ballroom in Sex Siren. And I was like, okay, like, I've never like I've never been a part of ballroom, whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is fun. I'm down for this. I'm excited about this. And she's like, yeah, you should walk Sex Siren. So I did it. And it was like, it was fun, but it was also just like, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm actually like walking like nearly naked in front of all of these people. And they're like judging my body and judging this and da da da. So it was like,
Whew.
definitely a culture shock for me. And then to fast forward to the video shoot while I'm sitting in front of 20 to 30 people behind the camera,
It was
watching me
perfect.
exude sex. Right. It was like, I haven't done this before. So it's like, I don't know. It was just uncomfortable. And then also it's like, that was my first time meeting Seven. Like I hadn't met
Okay.
Seven prior to the video shoot. So like our first time meeting each other literally was lights, camera, action. And it's like, touch each other. And I'm like, okay, like, are you comfortable with me touching you? But like, it felt right. Like me and Seven's chemistry was just like, to me, it was
The
just like,
chemistry, it was sickening, sickening, sickening. It was like y'all have known each other for years, but that's that talent. That's that pure, genuine, like God gift of talent because you would never think that y'all had just met.
literally, like
Never think.
that man stepped off the plane, came to set, and it was like, let's go.
I
Yeah.
love it. Looking back at the video, right? And I know you were a bit hesitant showing that sexual
Mm-hmm.
side of yourself, but looking back at the video, what did you learn about yourself looking at your performance and how it came out?
I learned that there. What did I learn about? I learned that it's okay to show that side of myself first and foremost, and I also learned that there's also because I feel like the video still had a modesty to it. Like I feel like it was more tempting. Like I didn't want to be like sex. Like I wanted it to feel like where it's like passion where it's like that temptation of that longing and that lusting after something that you know is forbidden. That's why it's like, like even the thought process behind like me and Seven never kissing or our lips never really touching. It's like that
True.
almost that like, what they about to do? Are they this, da da da? It's like, no, we're not gonna kiss,
Oh,
but
child.
it's so tempting. Like, like that's I am done. But yes, like all of that, like that. So I feel like watching it back, like I'm very proud of myself for one. Um, but I just watch it back and I'll be looking like, wow, like you really just got on camera and did that. And the crazy thing about that is that, like, even like what I wore, you will catch me wearing that at an event. Like I literally would show up to an event with that outfit on, with some chaps on and my ass out and a blazer easily. But it's like it's never like it's never captured in a way where like the whole world is seeing it and being like, oh, like
Uh-huh.
my
Uh-huh.
mom like calls me a porn star. So like she watched it and she was like, oh, more porn. And I'm just like, girl, like girl, chill out. She's like, I mean, no, just like, she's like, it's beautiful, but she's like, it's porn. I'm like, it is not porn, girl. But
It's not.
yeah,
It's
it's literally
classy.
not.
It's giving you fashion. It's giving you like variety. It's giving so many things at once. Like uh, I'm glad that I'm able to witness an artist like you grow and present to the world something in a way that they've probably not realized we had available to us. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So I love that.
Thank you.
Um so Deviant.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't sing, but you know. So explain, just Deviant. What was
Deviant.
behind Deviant?
Deviant is so there's I don't know if you have ever heard of the Deviant parties. They actually like the Deviant events. Um, I went to one for the first time. I went to DC Pride last year, and I attended one of the parties. My first time going, and it was just like it's weird because there's a lot of things that are like literally right up my alley as far as like why wouldn't I have not experienced this already? Like people who know me like
Hmm.
this your first time coming here. But it's like I'm also like a church mother. So it's like the southern grandmother that lives inside of me be like, now you know you shouldn't be at that event. And it's like
Right. Where my prayer
but
cloth?
the meat okay. Literally, like prayed before I got there. And, like I'm the kind of person that pulled up to a DV event, and on my way there, I was listening to Tasha Cobbs. Like, sir, this is not proper preparation for the Deviant event. Like, you just listen to something
Right.
else. But it's like I went there and I had a ball. I enjoyed the freedom of the event.
Mm,
Of course, we know the other. We know what the event gives, but I enjoyed like the freedom and like the just the everybody just being and just and existing in the same space and just being free. And
yeah.
so when I went into the studio and we were writing, and that song actually came about because I wanted the BPM of that song, which is the tempo of the song is what actually got that song, because I'm like, I want a song like I'm clapping it out, like I want it to feel like this, I want it to feel like this. And so
Hmm.
he started creating and I started writing, and the first thing that came to mind was like being a deviant, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell my experience about when I went to the deviant party. So I literally just sat there and wrote out what literally from the moment I walked into the Deviant party, all the experiences
Hmm.
that I had while I was there,
Yeah.
and that literally is the song. And then I was like, I want to captivate the experience. I want people to feel like that they are at a Deviant event, like minus the dance breakout that happened in the video, because wasn't nobody doing none of that. It was a lot of breakout rooms, but it wasn't no dancing.
But when
But
it was a
it wasn't
different
none of it. It was some
different type of dance.
shows. It was a different type of show. But but yeah, like I wanted to, bring that to life. So yeah, that's what Deviant came about. And like I um have been dancing. Well, I tell people I'm retired, but I was a part of a dance team. I'm house arrest too, for which is like Chicago dance team. I was part of them for
Hmm.
like years of my life. So when Deviant, when the video came about, we were talking about what I was going to do, and I when I hired Rhetoric to produce the video, and he was like, "Are you dancing?" And I was just like, "I'm retired." I'm like, I don't really dance anymore. And he like, you got to dance. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me get out of retirement and come up and show the kids that I got a 1-2 step still left in me. So yeah,
Right.
like that was like, that was Deviant. That's what it was given. That was a fun video. That video on it, that day, I shot both videos the same day. Um,
Deviant
so I
and
literally did it, Deviant and I shot both of those the same day. Um,
okay.
and had a photo shoot that day too. That was a really really
Wow.
busy day. Um, but yeah, Deviant, that that video had some stuff in it too, because it was like the person that was supposed to be the DJ for the video um talked to him the whole way leading up to the video. Did a video shoot, no call, no show. And I was like, oh, okay, well, show goes on. And then one of the leading males that was supposed to be in the video, his car got broken into the morning of. He texted me pictures of his car. And I'm just like, this is crazy. But I'm just like, you know what? You asked me earlier, you said watching those videos, what are my takeaways and what am I proud of? I'm proud that I didn't allow the things that went wrong
Mm-hmm.
on set to pull me out of the moment, because I know my previous self would have allowed that to get in my head, and I kind of would have sabotaged everything, because I would have been like, well, this is supposed to be this way and this is supposed to be like this and this is supposed to be like this, and
Mm-hmm.
now this is just going to look weird. And it's like, nope, we roll with it. I said, I pivoted it. I'm like, okay, well, now we got to do this, shoot it this way, okay, well, this
Mm-hmm.
person out here, that's fine, let's put this person up there in their place, so it all worked out. But yeah, Deviant was, I invited y'all to a little piece of what I experienced at the Deviant event without getting my video banned.
Got it. I love it. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm kind of interested in attending a Deviant event. I
you
haven't
should
yet,
you should
but I've
go.
heard.
It's a good time. It's a good
I
time.
bet. I bet. Yes.
Like I only really smoke weed, and like even that, I'm like I'm not a wake and baker. I will be today. Shout out to 420. I will be
420.
today, baby. I'm talking about this. Is how I want to be all day today.
Yes.
Like just drifting on a memory. Like
All
I'm
right.
gone. But yeah. Um, I don't really like get into like the other stuff, and it's like the party in itself, it's a very safe space. I want to just make that very clear. It's a very safe space. It's
Hmm.
very I feel very safe there. I feel very comfortable there. But you can always tell that the girls are not on what you own. I'm like, oh, I don't think I do the right type of stuff to like really like be like in it. So I'm like, okay, so I'm up there tossing back drinks, because I'm like, I gotta get, because like if I start thinking too much, I'm going to psych myself out of being there, and then I'm going
Uh-huh.
to leave. And I'm like, I want to actually dive into the experience like full throttle and
Yes.
really just like enjoy where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, I can't smoke in here. I'm like, I don't do no other type of drugs. I got to drink.
Got a
I'm
drink.
like, give me another shot. Let's go. Like, because otherwise I'm walking out the door. But no, I had a blast. You definitely have to go. It's definitely
That's
an experience. Even if you go and you be like, okay, this is really not for me. I feel like it's still an experience that is like no other. And it's
mm-hmm.
for us. If you get
It's
what I'm
for
saying.
us.
Like it's for us. So I feel like that, like going to like, after that I did go and experience a circuit party, which is it's just different. Like it's like, Deviant is for us, so I really
It's
enjoy like experiencing that. Yeah.
got it. So that leads me into, so when you
Oh
look at
Lord.
your fan base, I know you
Uh
have
huh.
a diverse fan base, right? Very diverse.
Uh-huh.
Being a black artist, right, under
Uh-huh.
the LGBTQIA umbrella, have you had how have you seen support for you and your artistry as you've gone on this journey?
Um. Excuse me. From our community, I feel like everybody's like really just been like very supportive. In the sense of like well, I will say that within these past few releases, people have like there's been more support.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my base, like I told you before, it's kind of like really rock and roll. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like everybody doesn't listen to rock and roll, even though it belongs to us, but everybody really doesn't listen to it on a consistent basis. So it's like going into more like deviant and like where that you feel the influences of rock and roll and you feel the influences of soul. But like deviant,
Mm-hmm.
I would say is more like more pop. You know, like it has
Yeah.
like a more rock pop, and is more rock soul. So it's like it's more palatable for people. So I feel like that they it's being received very well because I feel like it's something that you can put on your playlist. It's something that you
Mm.
can get in the car and listen to more so than like Gotta Go, where you was looking at your husband like like it's
Like you
like
did
I
something
everybody
one
like
day.
literally. So it's like like people like I'm not always trying to be in that mood. So it's like those two songs I feel like allow people to experience them in multiple different moods of their life. So I feel like the support for
Mm-hmm.
those two singles have been greater than my previous bodies of work. So
Mm-hmm.
that support, but of course, like I feel like the our community always kind of supports um us for the most part. You get of course you get the girls, who be on they
Yeah.
other type of energy, but I feel like that the energy that I exude, I always say that I only exude positivity and I only digest positivity. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that is not positive, it really just it misses me. Like it's like, child, gone with yourself. Like the comments on Instagram, like you get the people that come in there and be like, "Oh," I had a comment the other day. I actually pinned it to the video. She was like, "Oh, this is not of God," and da 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 da. And I was
Oh
like, "Pin."
man.
So let me pin that right to the top, and then let me comment to you, let you know, like, baby, let me be very clear. Without God, this wouldn't have even happened. I have prayed, I have cried, I have affirmed, I have spoken over this project and the
Mm-hmm.
funding for it and everything. Like I personally, me myself, do not move without consulting God. So it's like
Mm.
while you over here thinking that he's not a part of this, he here,
He all
child.
up
He's
in
sitting right next to me looking
right.
at the comments like,
Right.
girl,
That
shut up.
part.
You know? Like what are you talking
That
about?
part.
But yeah, but the support has been, I feel like it's been I feel love, like I feel the support, I feel I feel like that my fan base is very broad because it's like
Mm.
you can come see me at a So Far Sound show and you're going to get me sitting down with my legs crossed and my guitar and I'm just going to sing you some ballads, maybe some up-tempo songs, and then you may come and catch me at something with Next Showcase Chicago and I'm on stage and I'm flipping around doing Tina and singing deviant and dancing and rolling around, so it's like it's just different. Like it's like knowing like your audience and knowing like when I get booked for a show, like, okay, what Logan do you want to show up? Like which Logan are
Mm-hmm.
you paying for?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've like, and that's a learning thing in itself because I have baby, I have been booked for some shows and showed up with the stripped down Logan and they've been looking like, what baby, what is this? And I'm like, oh, y'all didn't want to hear me just sit down and sing. Y'all wanted me to, oh, maybe I should have brought my band with me today. Like, like
Right.
learning, being like, okay. Like, so now when I get booked for stuff, I'm like, what did you see of mine that made you want to book me? Like, what do you like, like, what do you want to,
Mm-hmm.
what do you expecting me to bring, like out of my catalog? What do you, oh, I love when you did this, that. Okay, cool. You want an up-tempo show? I got you. What's the event?
Yeah.
Is it a birthday party? Is it like whatever all that
Yeah.
stuff? But yeah,
I love that you said that because, and that's one of the reasons why I do tapping into talent. There are artists who are waiting for that birth, if you get what I'm saying, and
hmm
they're still navigating. So you giving that piece on knowing your audience, knowing where you're performing, knowing what you want to bring for that audience, what they're looking to receive. That's a big piece to it because it's growth. It's growth and you have to be
yeah.
open to that growth. So I'm glad you said that because I guarantee you there are probably 50 people right now who you just helped with just that statement.
Man, of that child. Yeah, because
So
the learning experience, y'all, ain't like no other.
uh, that's what I hear. So, so that leads me into what would you, from your experience, have to say to up and coming artists who may be in that realm of where you are? Like, what advice would you give them to help them navigate?
My advice would um, be yourself. I feel like that people literally love and are drawn to authenticity. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that in an industry where it's kind of popular right now to be replicas of people,
Mm.
we
Come
need
on
to
now.
get back to being having individuality in our artistry. Like I think about the '90s. Like when you listen to music and I know Brandy's voice when I hear Brandy's voice. I
Mm-hmm.
know you know Tony Braxton when you hear Tony Braxton. You know when you hear Shaka Khan. You know Shaka Khan voice when you hear Shaka Khan. No matter what she's singing, you know when you hear
Mm-hmm.
it. You know what I'm saying? You know these voices. You know Tank. You know all of these voices. And yeah, you may hear their influences of who you can tell. Oh, Brandy's influenced by this artisan, or Shaka, may have been influenced by this, or this person influenced by Shaka Khan, or whatever the case may be. Like you can hear Erica Badu and know that Shaka Khan is an influence of hers. Like you hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but I still know
Mm-hmm.
Erica Badu's instrument and I know her gift. And that's what people are buying into. That's what sells. That's what cuts through all the noise. So like to
Mm.
any artist out there that is struggling with like trying to find, where you fit, what your sound is, etc. You are your sound. You are the brand. Like buy into yourself. Don't worry about what this person doing and what that person doing and oh well this is what's popular right now and you know oh nobody listen to this type of music right now. That's not the point. The point is that
Mm.
be your authentic self, do what speaks to you, and you're going to attract the audience that is for you.
I love that. I love that. Um, I'll say this. So I had a conversation with Guy Madison one time, and shout out to Dale.
Mm-hmm.
But he was mentioning the soundtrack of his life, right? And a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack for his life has to do, or it's the Supremes and Diana Ross.
Okay.
So since then, I've been trying to identify like what's the soundtrack for my life, and I've been going back to different periods of my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, you're in the soundtrack of my life. Like
Oh.
I have to say that, and it's because I I haven't seen an artist. Well, first off, I'm not seeing an artist that represents us that has given the how can I put it, the diversity that you've given in your or the range in your music. I love rock, I love gospel, I love soul, I love blue. Like I get all of that, and even so much so, I'll let you in on a secret. So I went back, and I've been listening to your music for a minute now. And I love how I don't have to change up like the hers to him or the uh she to he
Mm-hmm.
when I'm singing along with you. But I was listening to Jade,
Oh,
and I'm not gonna lie, my husband and my baby came in the room and they heard the song playing, and my husband was like, "Is that Logan? Is that just Logan?" And I was like, "Yes, how'd you know?" He was like, "I know his voice." I was like, "Yes!"
oh yes. Come on, somebody.
Right. So
Yes.
I another reason why I say thank you for bringing what you have and what's in you to us, because you never know how you can move someone or how you can impact them. And music does take you on a journey, and when it's authentic and it's coming from not trying to be like someone else, it's received, like you said, a whole lot better. So that's my little, yeah.
You. Oh, that means a lot. Jade is that song for me that I feel like like every artist has that song. Like we know like when we go see Beyonce, we know she's gonna perform Crazy in Love, like in
Mm-hmm.
some type of way. Like we know she's
Mm-hmm.
like we know some songs that like you have to put this in your set, girl. Like it has to be somewhere in there. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jade to
Mm-hmm.
me is that song for me. Like I'm always gonna have that in my set because it's like that was, first of all, that was the first song that is 100% all original. Like the music is original, the lyrics are original. That was the first song I ever played my guitar on. Like I had just learned how to play the guitar, so it was the first song I ever
Mhm.
played on, and it was the first song
Wow.
that I feel like I found who I was as an artist. Like
Aw.
it was it was an awakening for me. Like it was like when I recorded it, and I said there's one song, I have another song called Hide and Seek that I really love too, that I need to re-record because it can do something different now. But
I like hide
I
and
remember,
seek.
thank you.
And I'm gonna tell
I was
you.
listening.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Go, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When I hear hide and seek, I'm gonna set the excuse me. I'm gonna set the tone. So I see two vampires, men, and they are chasing each other around the
Yes.
world. And they thought that they could live without each other, but they found out that they do love each other. So now it's more of a game. Like, we gonna be here for eternity. So I'm gonna find your ass one way or another. But basically, I don't know. It's this whole vision that I get. Like,
Okay. First of all, let me tell you that I am obsessed with vampires. Okay, like I am
say,
obsessed with vampires. I have to play one. Like I literally want to play a vampire. I have to play one in my career. I'm obsessed with them. Um, you saying that alone. First of all, now I'm gonna re-record hide and seek and do a video. I'm gonna give you your EP credit. So you ain't got to sue me. That's fine. But I'm definitely doing. Yes, come on, video concept. Yes,
yes.
that's happening. So when you see it, I'm gonna re-record hide and seek, and when you see the video and you see your name with an EP credit, don't be shocked. Just know
I
that,
cannot wait. I cannot wait.
oh my god, like why am I waiting for somebody to cast me as a vampire when I can cast myself as a vampire?
Boom. That part.
Okay,
Right.
boom,
It's done.
yes, it's done.
So
Love it.
yes, every time I hear it, that's what I see. And then they end up finding each other in the end, and it's this whole, like, it's just passion and all this stuff, all these years that they've been playing hide and seek. Now you get to see them come together, and like this whole, it's yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, so back to Jay.
Oh, Jade. Yes,
Yeah.
Jade. Yeah, Jade was the one. Yeah, that was the one where I really feel like I feel like um my boss at the time, she's in the music industry, and she I played her like that's her career. So it's like, and she's already where I'm trying to be in
Hmm.
my own way. But it's like I would play her stuff and like send her stuff, and she'd listen to it and give her feedback on it, because it be as I kind of grew in my development of my artistry. And that was the first song that I played. I recorded, listened back to, and I was like, I think this is it. I think this is the I think I found, because like as a singer, it's like I can sing anything. Like
Hmm.
I can sing anything. I can make my voice soft. I can, my rasp is kind of always there, but I can kind of pull it back a little bit where it's like, it's not as heavy. And it's like,
Hmm.
but it's like almost like for a long time I was altering the way that notes came out authentically, because it's like, oh well, I need to sound like this, and I need to sound more like this person, or I need to sound like this. And it was like, that was the first time I was like, just sing the
Hmm.
song, whatever comes out, just sing it. If it comes out gritty, if it comes out whatever, just sing it and let it be. And I
Yeah.
remember playing it for her, and she listened to it, and she's like, this is really, really good. She like, this is really good. And I'm like, okay. It's coming together. So yeah,
Yeah.
Jade has a special place in my heart, and it's named after my guitar. My guitar name is Jade. Um, so it's named
I
after
love it.
her. And then it also, Jade is the color of green, and Jade is a green color. And then the song is about not being jaded. So it's just a lot of entendres all up in there and stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
I love Jade.
Hmm.
That's my baby.
So what stage of life were you at when you wrote Jade? Like, what was going on?
I was struggling with living in somebody else's shadow.
Mm.
Um, because I was like, again, like my boss at the time, like I mean, I've been to the Grammys, I've been to the Oscars, I've been to the pre-Grammys parties, I've sat at the table with Clive Davis, I've sat at the table with Beyonce, I've done all of these things, but not as me. I've done it as a personal assistant, as a plus one. And it's like, it
Mhm.
doesn't take away the specialness of it because I still appreciate being. If you see me leaning forward, y'all, I'm just trying to make sure this light don't go off because it tried me once before and you won't get me again. Um, but I've been in all of these spaces, like that. It was like, and it feels good to be like to walk into a room and Beyonce look at your face and be like, "Oh, hey," and it's like, "Hey, girl," but it's like you don't really know, you don't know me. You know me because of who I'm associated with. So it's
Mhm.
like that song Jade is like constantly telling myself like, be thankful of the life that you have. Be thankful of your journey. Don't don't worry about what somebody else has going on in their life and where God is taking them or what their track is. Focus on your track. Um,
Mhm.
Anytime I perform this song, I always give this story. I love racehorses, and like when you go to the racetrack, whatever case may be, they have on these things called blinders. And the reason that
Mhm.
they put the blinders on the horses is so they are not distracted by the crowd. They're not distracted by another horse coming into their blind spot. They want to block everything out so that all of they have is that vision to where they're supposed to go.
Right.
And I feel like that song, Jade is my blinders. Like it reminded me to keep my blinders up and be like, hey, the grass is not always green on the other side. Sometimes that shit is sod. Sometimes it's
Mm.
spray painted. Sometimes it's turf.
Mm.
People present to you what they want you to see, not
Mhm.
always what is their reality. So
Come on now.
that song reminds me to continue to just accept life as it comes and not compare myself to any other artist or compare my growth or my successes to anybody else's or what actually is success.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Come on
but that's what I
now.
was in. I was in a place of like trying to balance being joyous and happy for my boss and what she had going on, and then also being like, wow, this is obtainable. But is it obtainable for me? Like, am I going to get it? Am I going to? Can I do this too? It's like battling that mental warfare with yourself of being like, you're here, but you're not here.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Hmm. Interesting. And then even to that point, and this is just my own little 2 cents, like sometimes the accolades and the those tables, that's not where the real satisfaction or the real fulfillment comes from. So
literally.
being aware of what will really fulfill you in this journey is something you should always keep in mind too, because you could have the accolades, but are you really being you? Are you really free to be you? Say what you want to say, so that's I love that. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, and the accolades, like I be telling people all the time about these accolades, child. They don't pay no bills. They don't come with a check. Like it literally is just an accolade. Like it literally is and it's like not to discredit them because it's one thing. Like I think I'm amazing. Let's be very clear. I think I'm amazing. But it's
As you
another
are.
thing when other people appreciate you as well. Like that's special to me. You know what I'm saying? Like when people are like, "No, I also like your work," and it's like, really? I'm not delusional. Like, okay, like, thank you. Like, that is special. So I feel like that accolades they are they do mean something. Like I hate like when people are like, oh, it's just an award, and it's like it is just an award. Like it doesn't not winning an award doesn't make me feel like I'm less special. It doesn't make me
Hmm.
feel like that. However, but it does make me be like, okay, there's I touched somebody. I made somebody feel something. I made somebody
Hmm.
say, like you reciting a lyric to me because that touched your heart. You telling me that song made you feel somewhere, and you was looking at your husband like that. That make me that is what. is those are bigger to me than awards. If that makes sense, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a trophy to me because it's like, damn, like I wrote something, my story, made somebody feel seen, made somebody, I'm relating to somebody through this. That's the biggest accolade to me. But still, run me my Grammys.
Right. Right.
Like I want them. I do.
Right.
Let's be very clear about it.
Each one, like, run them.
Every last one of them. Yes, I do. Give them to me.
Yes, yes. But nobody said, "Oh, I want." You know what? I want to make music, and after I get my Grammy, I'm done. No, it
No, no.
complements you along your journey of doing what you really want to do, which is touching people. You know what I'm saying? And being able to get out
Yeah.
that gift that's in you. So
Yes.
that is cool. So, I do ask this question, and hopefully it doesn't uh take you by surprise too much. Are you
Okay.
single?
Oh Lord. I am single. I am single.
All right, y'all heard that, right? Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm
Yes.
freaking weak. My dating life is like it's so interesting. First of all, my mom always say my mother calls me a lesbian, by the way, y'all. Because I like even though like I do like women, I gave up fish in college, but um I'm always complimenting a woman. Like I just feel like that women, um, their compliments are always rooted in some type of advancement. And like I'm trying to like I'm
Mm,
gonna give you a compliment because I want to sleep with you. So like anytime I
mm-hmm,
see a woman who is like beautiful or if I like your outfit, I'm gonna give you a compliment because you're not used to getting compliments on a consistent basis that are just rooted in the fact that you're beautiful. And that's
mm-hmm.
all it is. Like you're beautiful. So I'm always complimenting women, and every time I do, my mama like, "You a lesbian?" And I'm like, girl, like, please stop. But I'm also a homebody. Like, I'm in the house all the time. I don't go outside unless I'm working or performing or doing something. Like, I'm in the house. So it's like my mother always also say, like, you're never gonna find a man in the house, which is true, I guess, whatever. But yeah, dating for me, like in the community, is a little. It's difficult because I'm an acquired taste. I like to say, like, I feel like that is like my aesthetic. I feel like is pretty androgynous and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more softer than who I am as a person. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I may attract a man who is attracted to this, and then they don't like how masculine I am. They'll be like, "Oh, I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
I really thought you was gonna be a little bit more softer, a little bit more like submissive, or a little bit more this." And it's like, nah, bro, like I'm finna get down here and change this tire with you. Like what you're talking about. Like, like
Hey.
what we doing? Like we finna go for like what we doing? Like I'm in the gym, 4 or 5 days a week and I'm working out. Like I'm lifting, I'm squatting, like I'm working out. Like what are you talking about? So I feel like that catches a lot of men off guard. And then like I also meet men who are attracted to my person, but then the aesthetic, it draws so much attention and they don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily want the attention. Like I'm used to it now because I'm me, but even like
Mm-hmm.
myself, I had to get used to the more I stepped into who I am as a person, I had to get used to people staring at me or people making comments about my aesthetic or people sometimes I walk down the street and somebody may grab their child a little closer. Like little stuff like
Oh,
that
won't
like I
they?
had to get literally I had to get used to like those type of reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dating somebody else, now I'm pulling you into my world. So now you have to get used to people staring at us and reacting towards us. And now it's not just affecting me, it's affecting you as well. So like a lot of men that I end up dating don't like the attention that comes with the dating me. So it doesn't really end up always like, working out. So it's like
I get what
I
you're saying.
my yeah, my dating history is not the best. But I'm a hopeless romantic and I believe that I'm gonna meet my husband and we're gonna live happily ever after and we're gonna jet set the world with our little girl whenever I have her. And yeah, I
Yes.
believe it to be so.
You better speak it, and it's gonna happen. It
It's
will happen.
going to
Okay.
happen.
He on his way. God getting him ready.
Listen, come on.
That's what it.
Let me send him my list. Because I got a list, Lord. Now don't be just sending me any old thing, Jesus.
So, with what you said, do you think we're getting closer to, and things look different now compared to how they
Hmm.
were 10 years ago, but do you think we're getting closer to that place where we as a community are not putting ourselves into these boxes like we've been so accustomed to doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that the generation I don't know how old you are. I'll be 33 this year. Um so I'm a millennial. I think that Gen Z kind of has it figured out. They have a lot of stuff that they got going on over there too. But I think as
yes.
far as like being authentically themselves, I think they have that figured out because they haven't had the policing that our generation had. Like as far as like um even outside of homosexuality in just in the grand scheme of the world, like our generation was very like suppressed in who we were allowed to be and how we were allowed to express ourselves. So like
Mm-hmm.
when you bring that into homosexuality, a lot of us are still figuring out who we are, like, and
True.
what that looks like for us. So I feel like that I always tell me and my best friend, I always joke about this, is that me and her be saying like the more healing we do, the the harder it is to find somebody to date, because not
Wow.
everybody is on that healing journey. Not everybody is on that in that space where they are able to take accountability, or in a space where they're constantly growing. Like I'm
Yeah.
always growing every day. I'm growing. I'm learning something new. Like I'm not so stuck in my ways where it's like I am who I am and it's always gonna be me and that's gonna be what it is. Like no, I can learn something from you today and that may change my whole perspective of life. And now tomorrow I'm living totally different because of something that you said to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always ready to receive something to help me grow and take me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that the younger generation, they definitely are going to catapult us into a space of just being more authentic and being more just, less labelly. But unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many labels already presented, they're
Mm-hmm.
they're finding new labels to identify themselves because they don't fit into the labels that already
Oh,
exist. And I'm
exactly.
like, no, don't create new labels. Just get rid of them altogether. Like, let's just demolish them. Like, it's like walking
Yes.
into the world now. People always like, I'll come into contact with people that ask me my pronouns a lot. Which, just for the record, my pronouns are he, him, bad bitch. Um, but those are my pronouns. But people often ask me like, oh, them, they, or she, or this and this. I'm like, honestly, to be honest, 100%, I respond to my mother is calling me like crazy. Girl, I'm alive and well, I promise you. She about to pop up. You're gonna see walk through this door and come into the camera like, did you see me calling you? Are you okay? Um, but like, girl,
She
I'm
checking out
alive.
her
I
baby.
promise you.
Look.
She listen, because we talk all day every day, so she didn't FaceTime me like 3 times. So she definitely probably think that something is wrong. If she called me again, I'm gonna have to be like, I'm okay. I'm in an interview, girl.
Yes, handle
Um,
that.
but I run into that, like people ask me about pronouns and things of that nature. And as much as I appreciate people being, respectful of all of those, the new wave of life, I really honestly would want people just to just be like, just remove them. Like I am me. Like
Mm.
I literally don't need you to identify me in a certain type of way. I am who I am. I walk in this earth as Logan, and that just is what it is. Like, I don't know, but yeah, people. I feel like that the labels are going to be around forever. People are just going to continue to create new ones. We're gonna
Mhm.
have it's going to be LGBTQ, IA, SVU, N. They're gonna add new letters that we ain't even got yet because everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be
True.
represented. Everybody wants to feel like they have a space. And as much as I get that and I empathize with it, I'm also just like, we don't need it. Like we don't need what the only time you need to know my sexuality, baby, is if I'm laying down with you, and I'm not. So
Mm.
what does it matter to you how I, really identify or what I do or who I am? Like what is it like why are you asking? Like now my question be like, oh, are you this or you this? Why?
Right.
Why do you want to know? What is that? Is that gonna help you sleep at night? Like is that gonna help you, you know, grow. I don't know, but yeah, I hate labels. I feel like it would
Mm-hmm.
make the world a better place, and it would make it more. It would make it easier for people to navigate through it, and not just in gay culture, but just in general. I feel like it'd just be
Mm-hmm.
like people would live happy lives if you weren't trying to label yourself, Chad. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to your
Oh.
question, not going too deep, but even if we go into deep in homosexuality and top and bottom and this and that and all this, like it's so much. It's all. It just gets more and more intricate as you dig deep into it. It's like, okay,
Yes.
now I've labeled you this. Now let me label you even further. Okay, now
Right.
are you film a mask? And now are
Right.
you this? And like, it's like, oh God, here we go. Like, but also like those are my deal breakers. So it's like dating is difficult for me too because of, anytime somebody asks me, "Are you film a mask?" I'm like, blocked. Like,
Because what
why
does
does that matter? Like, what
why
is?
does it matter?
Ask me what my prayer life is like. Ask me what do I meditate. Ask me, do I affirm myself. Ask me, am I a generous person. Ask me, do I live in positivity or negativity. Ask me, am I driven. Like these are questions that I ask people when I'm trying to date them. I'm not asking you
Mm-hmm.
about your sexual position. I'm not asking you, and granted that will be a conversation because that is a thing, but that's not important to me. Like it's not important to me whether or not you are, like, I've dated guys who are more feminine than me, and I've dated guys who are more masculine than me, and I've dated guys who are just the same as me. Like it doesn't. I'm interested in the person. Who
Right.
are you?
Right.
Like, show me that person. That's who I'm interested in. Everything else that comes with it is cool, but who's under all of this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna have when all the doors are closed and the blinds like how do how do you love? How do you heal? How do you see? It's a whole bunch more, but
How do you deal with conflict? How do you deal with, are we going to be arguing all day, every day? Like, I don't argue with nobody, Chad. If we can't have a civilized conversation, you won't be talking to me. Like, I'll shut down on you in 5 or 2 seconds and get real calm. Like, da da da. You're raising voices. Okay, well, let's revisit this conversation next week when you're calm because I'm not, I may have to sing tomorrow. So I'm not going to lose my voice yelling with you. So I'm going to exit stage
true.
left and let you figure yourself out.
But what gives you that peace when you don't have anything else to do?
When I don't have anything else to do, I love being, oh, excuse me, outside of being at home in my own
Hmm.
like cave. Um, I love being around music. Like I love being around art. I'll say that because it doesn't necessarily have to be music. Like I would love to go sit and watch somebody do a painting. I would love to go sit and watch people just skateboard. Like I love seeing people in their environment, and doing things that they're passionate about. That inspires me, to
Hmm.
see people, and that goes across the fields. Like if you are a doctor and you passionate about that, and you sitting and you talking about, yeah, I just did a surgery and I cut into that bone and I did. I'd be like, oh my god, like this is fascinating. Like you really into that shit. Like okay, like I love being, I love being in those type of spaces. So like anything that like is creative or anything that like breathes passion, that is a good day for me, or a good conversation. I love when I like accidentally bump into like and have a really good fulfilling conversation. Like I don't care if I'm
Hmm.
walking down the street and somebody stopped me at Starbucks and we start talking, and next thing you know, I'm sitting there talking to you for 2 hours. Like I'd be like, "Ooh, today was a good day." Like I
Yes.
love that. Like that's me. But other than that, I'm in my cave. It's always dark in my place. Like I would pan the camera around, but I'm on my computer. Like it's always just like moody. Like it's like people
Hmm.
walk into my place and they be like, why are no lights on? I'm like, it is lights. They just pink, blue, green.
I love
Like
it.
they just not. Yeah.
So you like being connected. You like being connected to you like being connected, and I'll just say that. I think that you
Yeah. I like
are
being feeling
very smart.
grounded and
Yeah,
centered.
yeah. I love that. So let me
Yeah.
ask you, do you have any crystals?
I do. I do have crystals. I have on my Gold Galaxy Court.
Yes.
Um and I have where's my shoot, I have some jade. I have a tiger's eye. I have child. I have so many crystals. I like crystals, but I always like they always like incorporated in my jewelry.
Yes.
Like I don't have like the physical. Like I always put them on my jewelry, but it's like crystals are something they're interesting because I wasn't really into crystals. Like being a growing up like in the Christian faith, like everything according to some
Mhm.
Christians is the devil. So,
Mhm.
it's like, you kind of stray away from anything that is not biblical in a way because it's like, oh, this is demonic and you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like the
Uh-huh.
older I got and realized that like, everything works together for the good of them. Oh yeah, by glory.
All right.
Everything works together for the good of them. So it's like, the way that I do crystals, some people like actually like they go and look for crystals. I don't. I am like a person, like I go into a crystal store and I let it call me. Like every
Mm.
crystal I have, like I don't study them. The only time I learn about a crystal is when I buy it. So it's like I go into a crystal shop and something gravitated me to this ring. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, why? Like I want it. And I grab it and I look at it and I'll ask, the person, like, I'm like, what is this? And they're, oh, it's a Gold Galaxy Court. And it's like, okay, and what is that? And I go and I Google and I look it up and I do my research on what the actual court is and what it's supposed to do and the properties of it. And
Mhm.
every time I'm in the space of my life where I need it.
Isn't that
And
something?
that's what makes me buy them. And that's kind of what makes me like, but I don't want to say believe in crystals because I don't know if it's a thing to believe in per se, but that's what
Right.
make me like them because it's like my experience with them has made me feel like that they do have the powers or the properties that actually are real and can help balance me out and things of that nature because like I'm sitting over here struggling with self-love and self-worth, and then I walk into the store and I end up getting a green calcite, which is it's a stone about self love and about self worth and about affirming and things that like those are the properties of the stone. And it's like,
Mhm.
what are the odds that I'm
Mhm.
literally over here struggling with this thing, and I walk into the store and the stone that I'm gravitated to is supposed to help me balance that,
Mhm.
and then it's like, they say like with stones that once you have when you start vibrating at a higher frequency than them, you will lose them. They will start to break and where it gets to be. And I've experienced that. Like once, like the I have I call it my stone graveyard because sometimes I end up catching them like before, like I'll look at my hand and like it'll be like cracked, and I'm like, oh, it's cracking. Okay, let me just put it in my graveyard because I actually want to keep the stone. So I
Right.
have like my little thing right here where it's like the stone graveyard. But like as I heal from certain things or heal from different traumas or and self worth is something that I'm still actively working on, to be quite transparent. But I feel like I have a great grasp on it. But as I
Mhm.
grow into it, I see the stones actually leaving and like breaking, or I look at my finger and it's
Mhm.
gone. And I'm like, what the like this stone is like they're tight, like like they're not really going anywhere off my hand. So like to look down and it's completely vanished, I'd be like,
Vanished.
okay,
It was time.
all right. It was time. I hope somebody else finds you that needs you. I've also found stones, like literally leaving my house, and I
Mhm.
looked down and it was right there, and I was just like, I'm like, okay, and I picked it up and I was looking. I'm like, okay, let me Google. Let me look what it is. I Googled what it was, and then I went to a stone store and actually had the lady like tell me what it was, whatever. And there was a stone about like balancing yin and yang and
Mhm. Mhm.
something of the properties of the stone. I was like, okay, this is something, like that's crazy that I found that, and I'm like, in most of it always comes like after like a conversation I've had with God or having with myself or having with my best friend, and be like, here it is. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
into stones. To ask
I
your
love
question.
that. I picked up on your vibration, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
my spidey senses tell me that
My spidey
you're
senses.
familiar with those frequencies and those changes between frequencies and the balance that those stones, because they're from the earth, right? They're from the earth.
Literally.
We're connected to the earth and the energy that it has, the electric, like all of that is connected. And I picked up on that. So I'm like, let me ask real quick. So yes, thank you for sharing. And I'm the same. I don't research them. I don't necessarily study them. I learn about them
Mm-hmm.
as I get them. um, but it's funny because I feel like they attract you. Like if you
They
open
do.
yourself up, if you open yourself up, and it's not speaking against God or anything like that, like it's truth be told, it's his energy that's flowing through them. You know what I'm saying? And like they're from the earth.
Like, they're from the earth. Like, this is
Right.
not a man-made. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see if this was like a man-made entity that we
Right.
have, like, like, oh, this is manufactured in the lab, and now we're using this to like. It's like, no, these are things that were created for those who believe by him,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for us to use. Like, some people, like, even biblically, a lot of stuff, people, they use these
They
things.
use them.
So
Yes.
at what point did they become demonic? I'm like, baby, the medication you taking right now is demonic, because that's man-made in the lab.
Mm.
Because back in the day, honey, they was crushing up berries and stuff and getting well. So if we
And
want to,
using crystals
really
and
slice.
using stones.
Hello, somebody. Like, what are we talking about?
I love
Yeah.
this. Oh, I love you. I'm so happy you came today.
Well, thank you. I love you too. Thank you for having me. I'm having a great time.
That's so cool. So, anything I've not asked that you would want to share?
I don't think so. Is there anything? I mean, I'm working on new music. I need to find all transparency. I need a song for the summer. I want y'all to like have a good time in the summertime with me. So I'm trying to figure
Yes.
out, what does a Logan summer song sound like? Because I don't know. Like, I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know. Like, it's like curating music is so interesting, because as a creative, sometimes you get very selfish with your work, and it's all
Hmm.
about you. But it's also like, okay, you have to find a way to make sure that, yes, it's about me, but it has to also connect, and it also has to reach, and it also
Hmm.
has to be something that people want to consume.
Hmm.
um so it's like, when it's finding that balance of making sure that, like, it's something that's digestible, but it's also, first importantly, authentic to me. I'm trying to
Hmm.
find that out right now for, like, a song that, like, like, I can't give you Meg and Cardi B WAP. Like, that's not me. Like, that don't feel good. But I want you to
Right.
be able to play WAP and then turn around and play my song right after, and it still feels like it's summertime. I'm having a good time. Like, I want you to feel good. So I'm trying to find out what that is. Me and my producer are literally in the studio, like, literally now, and like going shopping, like workshopping everything. Like, okay, this is it. No, that's not it. This is it. No, that's not it. Like, we figuring it out, because
Yeah.
I want to have something for prepared for the summertime, so people can, like, ride with their windows down, and just, vibe out with me, like, have a good time.
I'm
Yeah.
here for it. I can't wait. So, do you have any events coming up soon? Any performances?
I have I have a show. It could be today for all I know.
Stop.
Um no,
Since you're
I'm not
being
that bad, y'all. I promise I don't be missing shows. I show up for my gigs, y'all. Book me, please. Like, I'm just. I have a So Far Sound show coming up on. This is crazy. I should know this information. Oh, it's in May. Okay, I'm good. May 30th, I have a So Far Sound show coming up. And then I'm working on some stuff. There may be some things. Me and Seven may have some things coming up this summer. So look out for that. And yeah, EP. I'm definitely dropping something this summer. Maybe EP, maybe a song. We'll see what happens in the studio. But I'm definitely dropping an EP in the fall. I'm just trying to just keep pushing. Like, this stuff ain't cheap.
True.
Um, it is expensive. And I'm all transparency. I'm not wealthy yet. I will be. Uh-huh. But
Right.
I'm
It's
not
coming.
wealthy yet. It's coming. But, so it's like, budgeting and being like, okay, you can't afford to do this month, baby. But, we working it out. We getting it together. Yeah.
Where can our listeners and viewers find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms at sincerely Logan _. That's Instagram, that's Twitter. Those are all the platforms. I have what's the thing called, a TikTok, y'all, but I be trying to keep up with the TikTok, and I feel old. Like I feel old trying to navigate TikTok and understand the algorithm, because it I don't know, but I'm trying. So bear with me.
Don't
Yeah,
feel bad.
Cecilia Logan, literally, child, I be struggling. Um, Sincerely Logan underscore on all social media platforms. My music is on all streaming services under Just Logan. So yeah, YouTube channel, Just Logan, just check me out. Come have fun with me, come talk to me. If you haven't noticed by this interview, I have no sense. So it's a good time. Like, like no telling what I'm gonna talk about on my story. I don't know. I have road rage. Not real bad road rage, but y'all gonna see me on the news, but enough that it's a key.
All
Okay.
right, family. Again, we have been joined today by Just Logan, an amazing, amazing spirit. Phenomenal music, phenomenal artist. If you've not already, check Just Logan out. We've given you where to go to find him. Make sure you show up and show out. Let's support. We know the impacts to supporting our community and those that advocate for us. So, again, Logan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Bye.